Hi, Congressman Khanna. As you probably already know, today is the fourth day of my indefinite hunger strike to demand that you use your powerful political platform in Congress to take the floor of the House of Representatives and speak out against the ongoing anti-Christian massacre in Manipur, India. In my hunger strike, I have now consumed 0 calories for almost 96 hours. Nothing but water, tea, and black coffee. I'm hungry, Ro. I'm hungry for justice for the suffering and besieged Christians in Manipur. I'm hungry for you to raise your voice on the issue. First thing, before I continue, there is an 11 a.m. rally for Manipur taking place in your district this Sunday, July 30. I am challenging you to take a stand for peace and justice in Manipur by joining that rally. Now, moving on. I am here, standing shoulder to shoulder with your grandfather, Amarnath Vidyalankarji, and his vision for India. My satyagraha, my hunger strike, asking you to raise your voice on the House floor for Manipur, is in solidarity with the legacy of your grandfather, Ro. You've declared it as your very own duty, in your words, to stand for pluralism, reject Hindutva, and speak for equal rights for all. You've said that that is the vision that your grandfather fought for. I want to remind you of the actions you yourself just called duty in those quotes, in that quote. The actions are standing and speaking. Standing and speaking. Those are active words, Ro. Right now, Ro, as Manipur burns, that vision of India which your grandfather fought for is being torn apart. There are no equal rights in Manipur. Pluralism has been exchanged for totalitarianism. And the fires that are raging are being fueled by Hindutva. Everything that's happening in Manipur right now directly contradicts the vision of India, which you affirmed in the past as being one that your grandfather had and one that you hold now today. Wouldn't this be exactly the sort of time when your grandfather would have stood up and spoke out? You said, Ro, that your grandfather inspired you to get involved in public service. You've also said that you came to Congress, in your words, to say that America should always stand for human rights. You said that when you were publicly speaking out against an atrocity in another part of the world. If you believe that Congress should always stand for human rights, and you've already publicly spoken out against atrocities in places other than India, then why won't you publicly speak out on the atrocities ongoing in Manipur? Stand up and speak out. Those are duties you have imposed on yourself, in your words, when it comes to equal rights and human rights. Please, Ro, I'm asking you, keep your grandfather's legacy alive by following in his footsteps. He raised his voice at great personal cost to his own freedom. And yet, what is the cost to you, if any, of raising your voice for peace and justice in Manipur? Amarnath Vidyalankarji spent his life fighting for India's independence, and one cost he paid was 4 years in prison. The first time, he was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment just for writing an article in a newspaper. Right now, unlike your grandfather back during the struggle for India's independence, you are in a position where you can speak out without any fear of being jailed for doing it. Yet the thing is, India today does not represent the vision of pluralism and equal rights that your grandfather fought for. India today has instead again become like it was in your grandfather's time. A place where anyone who dares to stand up and speak out can be and often is, swiftly jailed, or worse. But if you don't stand up and speak out at a time when you face zero repercussions for doing so, then when will you do it, bro? Your grandfather, who is your inspiration, spoke out for India at a time when it cost him his freedom. Here in America, will you, Ro, do what your grandfather would have done and speak out for Manipur at a time when there is no risk to your freedom? Will you? So far, your only response to my hunger strike has been to sidestep, completely ignore the Manipur issue, and instead merely say that you hope I stay healthy and safe. Don't you get it yet, Ro? I hope you understand that I'm not eating because the issue is not about my health and safety, but about the health and safety of so many Christians in Manipur whose very existence is at risk of being extinguished. I don't need your words of concern for me. What I do need is what the people of Manipur need, which is your words of concern for them, as they are being brutalized, gang raped, gunned down, burned alive, and even beheaded. It's a very small, simple ask of you, Ro. It's the tiniest of requests. Please, embrace the legacy of your grandfather and stand up and speak out, even if just for a paltry few seconds, for equal and human rights for the people of Manipur, especially the besieged, bleeding, and dying Kuki-Zo tribal Christians of that state. When you do so, you might just save lives, and you will definitely make history. You have called your grandfather a family legend. Please remember, Ro, that legends don't walk middle grounds. Please, Ro, stand up and speak out for Manipur before it's too late.